So at a high level, number one, you do your market research. You make sure there's a market for what you want. So you don't go try to create a market. Now there are places for that with the iPhone and with, some of the iconic products we have of this age, Microsoft, things like that. But in the general sense, for most people that are entrepreneurial, find a need and fill it. Find a problem. Where there's a problem, there's an opportunity. I started my first company. I was going to open a restaurant. I got into construction instead. I wanted to get some work done at my house. I was trying to get an addition built on my house, and I was calling contractors. Nobody would return a phone call. I mean, I would talk to, call 20, 30 people. Nobody would call you back for anything, landscaping, an addition on my house, anything you needed done, because everybody was so busy, just kind of like it is right now. They couldn't even return a phone call. Where there's a problem, there's an opportunity. So I started talking to my neighbors, and they said, oh yeah, man, if you just return a phone call and show up, you'll have all the work you'll ever need. That's when I started my first company, was to solve a problem. There was not enough good remodeling contractors, handyman contractors in our area. So that turned into hundreds of millions of dollars worth of business, over a 7-year period, because I was solving a problem. So let's take it down to a much lower level, okay? If a kid wants to do a lemonade stand, do you think they sit there and get all hung up on, well, gosh, I got to have the mix, then I got to have glasses, then I got to have a table, then I got to go out and find customers. I don't know if this is going to work. No, I want to go sell lemonade. They make some lemonade, they go set a stand up, and they start selling it because they know there's a market for it. It's really that simple. If there's a market, I know I can sell it. So I just go for it. Now, from an iconic level of, light world changing products, like an Elon Musk, that's a little different level of belief, right? So this guy's taking rocket ships to the moon. So what he does and what I did when I grew my company, I'd never built a multi-million-dollar house from the ground up. In fact, when I started building custom homes, I'd never built a house. I was a remodeling guy. So what I do, I went and found great people that were working for some of the biggest and best companies there that were doing what I wanted to do. And I went and hired their best people. There was a story out today that Stripe just hired the CFO from, was it GM or something? I can't remember, but Stripe just hired a top CFO to come into their organization that they took away from another company. People hire Jeff Bezos's best people to build their companies. So that's how you grow great companies. When you're not experienced and you don't know what you're doing, you borrow belief and confirmation from those that have already done what you want to do. You bring them in and let them build the organization for you. So, yeah. And there are those opportunities, like Facebook. There was no market for Facebook, right? But there was a social, market. TikTok, there was no market for a TikTok. So, so there are some things that you can create a market for, but the proof of concept of the social aspect of these things, that is a proven thing. They're just providing a different mechanism, to tap into a social network. So there's a little bit of that. And, we did have mobile phones when, Steve Jobs did the iPhone. Obviously his first thing was the iPod, revolutionizing music, when he stood up on stage and said, 100 songs in your pocket, Yeah. So he didn't create the market for music. He just created a new way. So that's what a lot of people miss. A lot of people rack their brain trying to come up with the next greatest thing, when all you have to do is look inside an existing industry and how can you serve that market better? Like the iPod, 100 songs in your pocket, or like the Apple iPhone, and everything that's a computer in your pocket. Or, like I did, nobody was answering the phone, very simple, so where there's an opportunity, where there's a problem, there's an opportunity.